One more time for Jay Bach, everybody. He definitely punched Billy. That was not a ball. All right. Are you guys ready to bring your headliner up? All right. This guy has become a friend of mine over time. I'm very proud to call him my friend. He's got a couple of dry bar comedy specials. I think he's working on another one. Coming here from the Chicago comedy scene. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Chris Wineland.
Keep it going, keep it going! Oh, this is going to be fun tonight, you guys. Let's go. Get a bigger applause. Come on. Well, thank you. That was so unexpected. Wonderful. Look at you guys. And you guys are the newlyweds? Is that what? Yeah, 1 year, no argument. Oh boy, isn't that adorable? Everything's perfect. Oh, and the husband said it. That's wonderful. I'll be praying for you. Like, Lord, when he wakes up one day, it is gonna be surprising for him. No, that's awesome. Seriously, see how long you guys can go. I mean, be friends, be best friends. Maybe you can call Guinness World Records, you know? You're like, hey, we made it 1 year and 3 days, you know? They'll be like, all right, that's the record. That's it. Listen, we're gonna have some fun tonight, you guys. I'm excited. We're hanging out in the back room of a Pizza Hut. It feels like, is it anybody's birthday? Oh, wow, she told on you pretty quick. And you don't even seem to know it's your birthday. He was so surprised, you guys should have saw. I was like, anybody's birthday here? It is? So do you know where you are today? No. Is it your birthday? She kidnapped you. That's okay. And she's cool with that. And it's your birthday. All right, well, happy 21st, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah. Let's do a round of applause again. I know I heard some about the marriage, but round of applause if you're married. Yes? Oh, okay, we got a good group then. Round of applause if you're single. Okay, I'm so sorry for that table. I didn't know it was just going to be you two clapping. I assumed. I see some people pointing at some single people over here that didn't want to clap. And then are there, I see, okay, some single ladies, good job. Any single men? Be honest. Where's a single dude? No? All right, I'm sorry, ladies. You're not gonna find a date tonight. I would have hooked you up. It would have been fantastic. But that's okay. We'll figure out. Come to the late show. I'll make sure there's usually some single guys at the late show, and I'll get you guys married. Okay? I'm gonna have a 100% success rate at my shows. No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome. Good for you guys. That's great. And then we got some married people. And so I want to do a round of applause again because I heard they were like 40 plus year marriage people. Yes? Okay. And they were like 58 years.
59.
You guys were 57, which was impressive until the 59 year group. You know, suddenly you guys weren't as impressive. Everyone was like, eh. It's only 57 years. That's amazing. You said 57, right? 15, okay, fine. You're trying to cheat? That's okay. She said, well, we've been together for 59 years. All right, we'll accept it. How'd you guys meet? A dating app? Yeah. That's, well, you know what? Not to brag, but my wife and I, we've been married 7 years. 7 years, thank you. Yes, and you guys have been married 57 years, so if you guys ever need any advice, we know nothing. Nothing. I'll tell you, I love being married. My whole life I wanted to be married. It was my dream to be married. That was my dream as a kid. In fact, when I was in kindergarten, I proposed to everyone. And even they said it was too soon. The only one who said yes was the teacher, so she could call her mom and say she finally got engaged. But I loved it. I always wanted to be married. In fact, before I met my wife, I was engaged twice because comedians love callbacks. And then I got married, and I love my wife. I love being married. There's just some things I wish I would have known before I was married. For instance, did you guys know that before I was married, I was right? I was right 100% of the time. My friends used to high-five me as to how right I was. Kings and queens would parade me down the streets because I was right. And then I got married, I heard a word I'd never heard before. Wrong. Apparently there's some things I had been doing wrong. Like, for instance, did you guys know that out of the 17 hand towels my wife has hung up in the bathroom, 16 of them are not to be touched? Apparently they're called show towels. I've heard of show horses. Never heard of show towels. Who's coming to my bathroom for a show? And I don't know if any husband has this job, but the moment my wife and I got married, my wife made it my job to clean the tub. Anytime a guest is coming over, that's my job. She'll shout it all the time. She'll be like, honey, the Johnsons are coming over, clean the tub. Why? What are the Johnsons planning on doing to my tub? What are they going to be like, hey, so excited to play canasta. But first, let us take a rub-a-dub-dub in that tubby tub. Like, who's looking at my tub? You know, I say that, but I gotta be honest, just recently I went to a rich friend's house. First thing I did, look at his tub. And then I complimented his show towels. It was fantastic. You know, I love being married. I think before you're married as a man, you don't have a style or a decor style in your house. You probably don't even have a house. Then you get married and your wife informs you that you have a decor style. And I can prove this right now. Husbands, with no help from your spouse, try to guess what you think the decor style is in your living room. Exactly. They didn't even try it. These guys didn't even try. I was at a show one time, a guy was brave enough and he said, American? I was like, that's an airline, sir. That's an airline. It's not a style. My wife and I, we have a style. I don't know what it is. But I know what we used to have. We used to have a style called farmhouse. You guys heard of this style? You guys heard of this cult? You know, when I originally agreed to it, I thought we were going to a farm. That's not what farmhouse is. Farmhouse is where my wife goes to Target, which what does Target know about farmers couldn't tell you. Then she buys a giant wooden spoon for $60 and hangs it on my kitchen wall. And it's a spoon I can't use. And trust me, I asked. I was like, for $60, I should be allowed a big epic bowl of cereal. I should. And I don't know who this Chip and Joanna are. But if they release one more exclusive throw pillow, I'm gonna sue. And I know the secret. Does anybody here have farmhouse at your house? Anybody got it? Oh, okay, they're in the back. I know the secret of farmhouse. Okay, you take an item, you paint it white, you sell it for a bunch of money. I'm gonna go to my tool shed, paint everything white, and become a millionaire. I'm gonna be like, hey, this isn't just any hammer. This is a farmhouse hammer. Hanging up on your kitchen wall. It's gonna be great. I love marriage because your spouse sees better you than you'll ever see yourself. Your spouse sees in you what's better than you'll ever see in yourself. For instance, my wife thinks that I have the superpower of night vision because I'll just be in the kitchen at 10 at night and my wife's somewhere in the house and I just hear, good night, click, 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 click. Every light turns off instantly. And I'm just a confused man staring at nothing. And like she turns out there's no light, there's no way to beacon me to the next room. And I'm a man, so I have to memorize my way back to the bedroom. And as a man, I'm bad at directions. And there's no light. I'm pretty sure she took the batteries out of the smoke detector. So there's not even a red flashing light to help me. I got kids, so I got Legos on the floor. And then I got dogs, so they're circling my legs like sharks in Jaws. And I finally make it to bed. I lay down, and the moment I do, what do I hear my wife say? honey, can you get me a snack from the kitchen? And my water? Like, what is this? But you know what, to be fair, I think wives have to kind of turn the lights off on us. Because all husbands have a disease. This is important for you to know, sir. You're going to get it soon. This disease is where a man, for whatever reason, just stares into nothing. For way too long. You ever see that? It's just like the wife is just staring, like, what happened? Did you break? And he's just like... And then he realizes he's been staring, so he has to stare even further and go, we need to fix that door. But what happened? We just broke. That's all it was. I was at the mall, and I saw an old man. I thought he was waiting for his wife at the bathroom. She left. She was at Applebee's. I was like, he was just staring. That's marriage, man, and I love it. My wife and I, we're best friends. We have a great time together. But we've gotten in a few arguments, a couple of times. Just a couple, because we don't usually fight. And I will tell you one important thing, you guys, is don't count who wins in a fight, because it's not going to look good for you. Okay? Like, I would not make the playoffs right now. I will tell you, just recently I won a fight. Thank you. I did. I won. And she said words I've never heard. She looked at me. She knew I won. I knew I won. And she goes, fine, you win. Is that what you want to hear? I said, no. I'm sorry. And then I walked away. I was like, hold on, why did I apologize for winning a fight? I haven't won a fight in years. She should be taking me to Buffalo Wild Wings. We should be celebrating this win. But instead, I had to go buy her Sorry Babe flowers. Sorry Babe flowers, by the way, is a real flower you can buy, and they only grow at night at Target. You're going to have to go to get some Sorry Babe flowers. But it's fun. It's fun, like, trying to, be married at my age. I'm so young. I'm a millennial, by the way. I am a millennial, yes, and I am sorry. I apologize. I know the rest of you generations hate us, and I apologize. I'm sorry for introducing gluten into your life. And then later on, introducing gluten-free. That was us. I'm sorry for everything you claim we've done to you, which is ironic because you also claim we haven't done anything. Make up your mind. Where are my millennials? Raise your avocado toast at me? Yes. Oh, no. You guys, we're friends. Millennials are great. We're obsessed with, if you ever make a millennial angry, just invite them to brunch. They will love you forever for that. We got a couple of millennials. Good. I'm not going to make fun of us. We're friends tonight. I'll tell you what. I think that I love my generation. I think we have a problem. We have a bad reputation because everybody else thinks that we're easily offended and we cry too much. And that just makes me feel like you're not listening to my truth. I could tell when I started to cry, it made a couple older gentlemen here a little uncomfortable. The older men always get uncomfortable when a man cries, mostly because you guys don't know how to cry. So, which is fine, it's not your fault. You grew up with a phrase I've never heard of before. The phrase is apparently everybody older than me, your guys' parents would say, I will give you something. All right, calm down. I didn't mean to trigger some of you. This isn't therapy. Yeah, that's weird. You guys are not the best criers. Gen Xers, that's the generation above me. Not the greatest criers, but you guys are statistically the greatest snackers in the entire universe. Yes, give it up for yourselves on that. You should be proud. Statistically, you guys will spend more money on name brand snacks than any other generation. And that is exactly why every generation needs each other. Because I cannot afford Keebler. When I'm hungry for it, I gotta go to Walmart and buy the great value version of Keebler. And it's called Ebler. And it's chalky at the end. But I could see my dad on a rough day. He could have a rough day and I would not see a tear fall from his face. But I would see him go to his bedroom, open up some sort of a secret drawer, and grab a giant thing of Keebler. Because you guys don't just love your snacks, you love to hide your snacks in your bedroom like a crazy raccoon. Like you're just in there just... What are you doing? Who's got snacks in your bedroom? Be honest. Okay, what do you got? Protein bars? Wow, we got some serious judges over here. She said protein bars, that's not a snack. Give me something good. Well, okay, wait, all right, calm down, people. What do you got? You have nothing? The protein lady's better than you. You don't even got Oreos.
I live alone, I don't have to hide snacks.
All right. Win. That's a score. What about you, sir? You got snacks? Because you kind of weighed in with an opinion here, too.
I like the Oreo thing, but I don't have any snacks.
You like the Oreo thing. What do you...
That's a snack over a protein bar.
No, I get it. But this isn't like a reality show with judges, you know? Like, I don't know why you guys are throwing in, like, you know, I'd give that a 4 out of 10. I would recommend the Oreos if you want to make a switch from the protein bar. Well, who else got a snack? Who's proud? And it better not be a protein bar. What do you got? Shout it out for me.
Peanut butter crackers.
Peanut butter crackers. Is that good? All right, lady. I'm sorry we're all not rising up to your expectations. Peanut butter crackers are pretty good. Anybody?
Reese's eggs.
Reese eggs. Oh. You switch around with the holidays. That's good.
I just hide them from my kids.
You just hide them from your kids. That's good. But that's good. See, you go with name brand. Reese's.
Oh, yeah.
I love, that's good. That's good. Reese's. Anybody else got a name brand? Be honest. Usually when I do this, some guy will come up to me after the show, and he was afraid to say it, and he walks up, and he goes, want to know what I got? And I'm like, no, I really don't. And he's like, beef jerky. Every single time. So based on my own statistics, somebody in this room is a weirdo that's got beef jerky in your bedroom, and you're gonna tell me about it later. And to that I just say, do you need teriyaki flavor that bad? That you're just in your bed, just like that whole time? Just go back to the protein bar out of all that. Don't be doing that. What kind of protein bar you got? All kinds. You got a collection?
I used to eat breakfast in bed. I was nursing my baby.
Oh, okay. So when you were nursing your baby, you had breakfast in bed, but you still hid the snacks for your baby just in case. And then what do you got? Like Cliff Bars? What well, give me a brand.
Generic.
Generic? Oh, you're a millennial. Okay. I was waiting for you to throw out like the good quality, you know. Aldi brand. That's not that impressive. That's okay. That's all right. Good for you. We'll pray for her too. If anybody would like to donate to this young mom and her protein bar plan here, I thought you were gonna give me like lottery money, kind of. You know, you ever see those like protein bars and they're like $5 and they're at the store? I'm like, what are you doing? Like if I ever win the lottery, people are like, what are you gonna do with your millions of dollars? I'm gonna go buy a Cliff Bar. For the first time in my life, I'm gonna do it. So we've got Gen Xers, you guys are the best snackers in the world. Gen Zers, worst snackers in the world. Never ask a Gen Zer, which is the younger than me, that's Gen Z. Never ask a Gen Z to go in the kitchen to get you a snack. Because they'll be gone for an hour because they'll be too busy making a YouTube tutorial. We got any Gen Zers here tonight? Go ahead and clap. We got some Gen Zs? Yes. Okay, we only got 5 or 6. Let's talk about them. Don't worry, they can't fight me. They could cancel me, but they can't fight me. Aside from you guys are clearly the coolest Gen Zers because you're here. And see, you're already filming me. You're ready to cancel me. I appreciate it. Gen Zers are, this is the perfect clip for this. You really are filming. Here we go. Gen Zers are the meanest group of people I've ever met in my life. If Gen Zs were animals, I think we would all agree they would be Chihuahua. Because Chihuahuas are only nice to other Chihuahuas. The moment you walk by, they want to bite your head off for no reason. You're like, get off! What are you doing? So that's Gen Z. So we got Gen Zs, we got millennials, we got Gen Xers, and then round of applause if you're my baby boomers here tonight. Yeah, go crazy, baby boomers. Don't worry, I'm not going to make fun of you guys tonight. Because you guys paid for everybody to be here. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it. No, I love it. I think every generation we have our own way of like behaving and talking. And I think that's the problem. We've isolated ourselves as generation. We got to work together. You know, especially when it comes to parenting. Have you guys ever seen millennial parents? Yeah, pray for us. We've got problems. We're trying to do good, but I think we've changed a little bit. We're a little bit more grace-based. For instance, round of applause if you grew up and the word spanking was in your household. All right, calm down. Some of you guys clapped pretty hard at that. If you don't know this, my generation, millennials, we don't do spankings. We also just stopped doing timeouts because it's isolating. But now we're trying some strategies of you guys, but the problem is we've added a lot more grace-based parenting to it. I just at a store and I saw somebody my age, a dad, and he looked at his kid and he goes, "Don't you make me count to 10." I was like, 10? Growing up, I only got 3. I don't know what this 10 business is. And then we try to say the full name of the kid when we're angry, but we messed up because we gave our kids weird names. So we're just standing there in a Walmart, just like, Tobert. Tobert Ocean Angel Eagle Eye Smith. Come over here, please. And then when all else fails, we go, that's it, I'm calling in the big guns. Grandma.
She'll give them snacks.
That's right. Well, that's the problem, right? Because growing up, my mom, now their grandma, she meant some business. Okay, she had a giant wooden spoon, and it was not Farmhouse. So I'm telling my kids, like, you get ready, I'm FaceTiming Grandma. She's gonna tell you what's what. Within 5 seconds, I just hear her say, "Don't yell at those sweet, innocent children." I'm like, see, this is the problem. You guys are supposed to have our back, but you got too soft. What happened? When did she become so soft at it? Like growing up, my mom used to run the house like a prison. I thought I lived on Alcatraz. Now that there's grandkids involved, she runs her house like a resort. We walked in, I saw a sign that said, "Welcome to Lolly and Pops." I was like, you named yourselves after candy? And she walks in, "Who wants juice?" I was like, you're telling me there's bottle service? I never had that growing up. The only weird kind of flavor of drink that I was able to get was the weird water flavor from the water hose. Because you know I wasn't allowed inside until dinner. It's like, I'm thirsty, drink from the hose. Like, I'm just waiting to be up in the middle of the night with TV going on and see one of those lawyer commercials. Did your mother make you drink hose water? You may be entitled to compensation. I'm like, come to think of it, I have been walking kind of weird ever since. You never know. But I'm trying to be a good dad. You know, I got a 5-year-old son. He's the funniest kid that I'm afraid to be around. You know, 5-year-olds, they say anything. You never know what they're going to say. And usually it's insulting. And usually it's towards you. Right? I got out of the shower at 5 in the morning in the bathroom in the house. I'm the only one supposed to be up at 5 in the morning. I'm wearing a towel. My son walks in, looks at me in a towel, and just goes, "Ew!" And then he walked out of the bathroom. I didn't see that dude for 2 hours. It's like that was his entire purpose that morning. Just destroying my self-esteem. It took 34 years to build. And it's not just with me, he does it with everyone. 5-year-olds do this with everyone. We were at a restaurant the other day, and my son asked the waitress why she was missing a tooth. And don't get me wrong, it was an obvious tooth to miss. She looked like she used to play hockey, you know? But my wife and I, we are adults, so we ignored it. Like we learn to ignore obvious flaws in people, right? That's what you do as an adult. Like right now, if somebody walked into this room with no head, half of you guys would be like, "Oh, I like your sweater." Like, what? That's messed up. But kids, they ask more questions. There's my son sitting at the restaurant, staring at the toothless waitress, and he just goes, "Can you whistle?" Whistle! Like, don't make the poor lady whistle. This isn't dinner and a show. What are you talking about? And we had, before I got married, I had to take this love language test. Anybody ever take the 5 love languages? Yeah? Oh yeah. Did you ever take the 5 love languages? No, you did not. There's no reason to because of how happy your marriage is. Oh, Lord, I think I'm going to fast for you. Fasting's good, so I'll do that. You can really make some changes. Fasting is, by the way, fasting is the Bible version of Ozempic. So, just a good side note. So you've never taken love language test? Okay, who can tell me the 5 love languages? Just shout them out. Touch. Yeah, you went right for that. The lady who's very like, you know, yeah, the Oreo lady here. She's like, touch, quality time, what else? All right, calm down, everyone. Quality touch, time. Words of affirmation. And we all appreciate you for sharing that. And what else? Gifts and acts of service. I was at a show, this woman shouted, "Chocolate!" I was like, that should be a love language. No, there's 5. Those are the 5 love languages, sir. So just remember that. That's how you're supposed to communicate with your wife, and your wife's supposed to communicate with you. You each speak a certain love language. You got to learn what the other one language is, okay? And there is no interpreter in the house. There is a 6th love language that they forgot to add, and that love language is called taking out the trash. Because one of you has to get it. And guess whose job that was, to take out the trash in my family? Yes, but now I have a 5-year-old son. So guess whose love language is it? To take out the trash. And he'll look at me all the time. I'll be like, "You gotta go do it. It'll build your character." And he's like, "But Dad, it's dark." I'm like, "Listen, buddy. Jesus is with you. You're gonna be fine. Go out there." I've had so many different odd-end jobs, actually. I've been doing stand-up comedy for 16 years. Yes, thank you. You know, it's funny, people always ask me, like, how do you get into comedy? I actually got into comedy. My mom made me do stand-up on my 18th birthday. And usually, parents, they want you to be a lawyer or a doctor, you know. My mom wanted me to be broken. And so I got up and I did stand-up, but I also had a million other jobs. A lot of millennials, we have a million different jobs that we try to do. You know, have you ever asked a millennial what they do for a living? They look at you like they hope you give them the answer. Because the real answer is we're all Uber drivers. That's the real answer. Millennials, you guys are millennials in the back. What do you do for a living?
I do sales.
You do sales.
I didn't get a real job to pay my loans.
Oh. Had to get a real job to pay the loans.
Yep.
How's your parents' house doing? They doing good?
I haven't lived there in 3 years.
Ooh, congratulations! Yeah, give it up. A millennial that doesn't live with your parents. That is rare and awesome. Good for you. And you're paying off loans? And what's the sales job you do?
I'm a buyer, so I buy stuff so our salesman can sell it.
You buy stuff for a salesman to sell it. I'm hearing people whisper the word drug dealer, and I'm not confirming, I'm not accusing. But if you're making a lot of money, if you pay off the loans next week, I think.
I was gonna say my loans were paid off, but not yet.
But not yet. Are they close? All right, she might be a dealer. I don't know, guys. I don't want to say it. We hope not. I think is the statement. But good for you. Anybody here ever be an Uber driver? Anybody? No? They're all just waiting for us outside. I used to be an Uber driver because I was a middle child and now feel the need to have my personality rated every 10 to 12 minutes. I did not like being an Uber driver because I learned they could give you 1 star for any reason at all whatsoever. But now that I'm not one, I gotta be honest, I love judging other Uber drivers. Like, I like to treat each and every Uber driver like a stepdad. I like to be like, hey, you got any snacks? No? My other driver had snacks. You're not my real driver. I think it's crazy we live in a society where we can put a rating to anybody at all whatsoever. Like, I think we need to go further. We're not done yet with it. What I would love for us to do is put a rating on people's conversations to help people to stop saying stupid stuff. Right? Yes. If you ever gone to a store with somebody and you split up, you want to meet back up, so you text them, hey, where are you? And they reply, I'm over here. Kind of an answer is that? I once went to a grocery store with a buddy of mine, Gen Zer, split up, wanted to meet back up. I texted him, hey man, where are you? He sent me his location via Google Map. You know what pops up? The address to the building I'm in. What does he think it's going to say? Melon aisle? That's what he's supposed to say. So I've had so many odd-end jobs, and one of the most important jobs I've ever had is I actually used to be a pastor. Yeah. Well, I say used to be. I haven't told the congregation yet. I figured when they come back, I'll come back. You know what I'm saying? No, I did. I used to be a pastor, and don't worry, I didn't leave for any bad reason. I just couldn't find the church keys. So I was like, all right, there we go. I'll just move into comedy. And I don't know if you know this, if anybody here goes to church or anything like that, but people always ask me, they're like, oh, you were a pastor. Like, what does a pastor do during the week? And as a previous pastor, I can tell you, I have no idea either. There's way too many random things that we would do. Like, there was one time where it's like, I would wake up on a Monday morning and I would get a text from somebody saying that they were upset at how hard my message was. Then I got an email saying how too light my message was. Then I realized that those two people are married. And I had to do marriage counseling that night. Okay? And I loved it because one of the things I love to do as a pastor is Google Greek words. Anybody ever hear a pastor, you even see it on Instagram where people are like, the Greek word for this means that. Love that. Did you guys know the Greek word for pastor means golf enthusiast? It's true, I love it. I love doing comedy for this long too because I learned that there's some things you can say as a comedian that you cannot say as a pastor. For instance, I'll be honest with you, I am not that big a fan of Chick-fil-A. I know. See, if I said that on a Sunday, y'all would think I was saying I was an atheist. If you don't know this, Christians love Chick-fil-A. That's what you say. They literally make it seem like God created Chick-fil-A on the 6th day. But that doesn't pan out because we know that God rested on the 7th day. Now you tell me, why would anybody build a fast food restaurant that they can't enjoy on their day off? You know what chicken place is available? Popeyes. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Love it. Big fan of Popeyes. You know, Popeyes is available to everyone every day, much like the Lord. True. But you know, it's pretty interesting that people would get angry over what kind of food, especially if you read the Bible. Food is a very, very important part. Okay, in fact, the first sin man ever committed was food-based. Now, personally, I don't think I would have been tempted by fruit. Now, if it was a fudge brownie of the tree of good and evil, I would have gotten there before Eve did. Hands down. But it says that there was something in that fruit that was bad for our bodies. Now, personally, I think it had red 40. You know, we are not supposed to have red 40, okay? I think God was probably like, don't eat from that fruit. Why? Will it bring in sin? Well, that and ADHD. Don't touch it. But you know, the Bible actually says that the woman ate the fruit first. And that checks out. Because a man would never eat fruit willingly. Let's be honest. The only reason the man ate the fruit in the first place was because his wife was naked. It's in the Bible. It's true. Men, we don't like fruit. We like nakedness. He wasn't paying attention, I guarantee you. He was like, okay, you want me to eat that? You talk to a snake? That sounds right, whatever. And then pastors never tell you this, but Adam had the worst punishment of all. Because the moment they sinned, Eve put clothes on. They didn't even know what clothes were. Now Adam's like, what are you doing? Don't put the top on too. What are you saying? You're going to cover the top? He's like, God, you know I never would have asked for this. See, and I could never say any of that as a pastor. If I did, somebody would be like, you can't say the word naked, my kids are here. I'm like, okay, but I played dodgeball with your kids on Wednesday, and your son cussed me out. So I don't think my language is the problem, you know? Have you guys been having fun tonight? Yes. I'll tell you, I'm gonna tell you guys a couple more funny things, but on your way out, this is a book. It's called The Great Heckle. And it's a fun book. I was on a TV show called Huckabee. He talked about the book, and in 24 hours, it became an Amazon bestseller. So it's highly recommended. It kind of combines like comedy history with Bible verses. So apparently, I just copied J Box's book. Apparently, is what happened. But no, this is a lot of fun, and I'll be hanging out with you after the show. But I wanted to kind of end with a bit of a story. A couple of quick stories. And one is that my phone number used to belong to a guy named Andy. And I know that because Andy never told anyone that he got a new number. Anybody ever have that? Somebody's texting you, they think you're somebody else? And so I would get this text, they'd be like, hey Andy, blah, 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 hey Andy, how's it going? And I was really polite at first. And I would say, actually, my name's not Andy, my name's Chris. That must be some old guy with the number. And they would reply, ha, yeah, right, Andy. So like I'm a really nice guy, but I'm also a comedian. I let that slide 2 times. By the 3rd time, I said, that's it, I'm embracing it. I will become Andy. So I'd get these texts all the time. They'd be like, hey, Andy, can you take my shift at work today? Absolutely. I'll be there. And so I would like say all these texts, and I realized that there was no amount of strange things I could send to people. I could just keep going. I would send emojis to people all the time. Somebody would be like, hey, Andy, what's up? And I would just go, 3 snowman emojis. They'd say, why are you sending me snowman emojis? 12 snowman emojis. They say, Andy, what are you doing? 15 snowman emojis. Just sending it over. So finally, I get this text from this lady, and she goes, hey, Andy, what's new? So I thought I'd make something up. I said, well, just got a dog. She goes, huh, just got a dog? How's Louie handling it? I sent a text immediately without thinking. Anybody here ever send a text that they immediately regret? Anybody do that? That's what I did. She said, how's Louie handling it? I said, without even thinking, Louie's dead. To which she responded by just calling the phone a whole bunch of times. And me and my friend who thought this was hilarious at first are now panicked. We're staring at the phone. We're like, what can we do? We can't answer it. None of us are Andy. We can't be like, hey, it's everywhere. I gotta go. Bye. Like, what do we do? So I let it ring. I let her call me and let it ring for 3 days. Finally, I go to my wife, who's just a great writer. She's my best friend, like I said before. We've only had a few fights, okay? So I think we're still in that record. You guys are apparently the perfect couple. So, but aside from you, we're like the second perfect couple, okay? So I go to my wife, who's a great writer, and I say, hey, babe, I feel so bad for this poor lady. Can you please send a long text to her and explain to her how Louie died? Because I was not giving up on this prank. Okay, so she writes this long text. She chuckles a little bit. She sends it out. I read it. It says, hey, I'm so sorry I haven't talked to you in a few days. We just finished a 3-day funeral for Louie. I don't know what that would look like. And I said, oh, okay. So she sends that, and she says, here's what's happened. I was driving down the road. I saw a beautiful blue chair on the side of the road, and I thought, why would anybody get rid of this beautiful blue chair? So I took it to the house. And what I didn't know is it has a wobbly leg, so if you sit down on it wrong, it slams to the ground, it just completely breaks. It'll slam to the ground. Well, Louie's been doing this thing, where Louie likes to go in and out of chairs. So Louie's going in and out of chairs, same time I sit on this blue chair, and bam, Louie's dead. Now, I think that this is a perfect time in the story to stop and remind us all, we don't know what or who Louie is. Like, sure, Louie could be an animal, or according to this story, a very strange roommate. That's just like, oh, is this the new chair? Oh, great, let me just grab my beef jerky and get under here, and bam, I'm dead. That's how that would have happened. So we send this text out. The lady replies, oh, that's horrible. I think it's the end of it. No. 2 weeks later, she sends a big long text in all caps that says, Andy, I got some questions. She sends me a picture of Andy's Facebook page, and Andy's sitting on a couch next to a cat. And it says, just hanging out with my cat Louie. And this lady goes, Andy, I got some questions, because you told me 2 weeks ago that Louie died from a horrendous blue chair accident. But then you just posted an hour ago that you're hanging out with him. Did I miss something? Now there comes a time in every man's life where you need to fess up for your mistakes. This was not one of those times. She said, did I miss something? And I said, actually, yes. Louie didn't die physically, but emotionally. The blue chair was a metaphor. And she said, oh, that makes sense. No, it doesn't. That does not make sense, lady. Like, look at the red flags right over there. Okay? And so, but then I realized, well, wait a second. I never knew anything about Andy. Now she sent me his Facebook. So I know his name, his life. I know what he looks like, what he does for a living. I know his family. I can become Andy. I was in a dark place in my life, sir. So I go onto Facebook to do actors research. And I start to see all these posts on his Facebook page asking Andy why he's been texting weird things. Because what I forgot to tell you guys is I had been doing that prank for an entire year. And there's all these questions. They're like, Andy, are you okay? Another person said, Andy, please stop sending me snowman emojis. Finally, one person gets to the core of the issue and goes, Andy, I've been texting you a lot lately, and you've been saying a lot of weird stuff. Is that you? And Andy just said, nope. He commented right underneath. He said, nope, it's some comedian with my old number, and I just let him mess with people. And he knew about me, and he was totally cool with it. Love that. You guys are great. I got like 2 more minutes with you guys. You guys having fun tonight? Was this a fun night? Good. I know everybody's still doing a couple of the bills here and everything, but you know, I will tell you, one of the things that I love about millennials is we've got phrases. Every generation has phrases. Like, what's a phrase you guys grew up with in high school that you would say? Buggin'. Buggin'? I've never heard that in my life. That's awesome. Good. Don't be bugging. What was your phrase?
I don't remember.
Oreos. Oreos was your phrase. We have this phrase that says, no worries. Right? You ever hear like the phrase no worries? We always say no worries when there's a ton of worries. Right? We're like, oh, I work in sales where I buy and sell to sellers. No worries. Right? Or we say, that's ghetto. I love the phrase, that's ghetto. Because we say it when it's never ghetto. I was at a coffee shop recently, and this guy in front of me, he goes, hey, you guys don't have any oat milk? That's ghetto. I'm like, no, that's not ghetto, okay? What's ghetto is you still live in your parents' basement, okay? That's ghetto. And then we have this phrase, which is, millennials only say this once in their lifetime when they're real angry. And the phrase is, I'm not upset about that. I'm just upset that you lied to me about it. I said it one time I was 19. I went to a surgery. It was supposed to be routine surgery, but there were complications and I died. Thank you for laughing at that, random person. I died. And I said that at a show and somebody shouted, did you come back to life? Nope, still dead. But I did, according to the medical report, it's hard to say, but what the medical report says is it says that I was dead for 36 minutes. That's what it says, 36 minutes. If I would have reached 40 minutes, the whole surgery would have been free. But yeah, it was probably the hose. You're right, it was the hose water. And here's the thing, if I would have, apparently I died from the 3rd cause of death in the United States, which is doctors messing up. And I have nothing against doctors, by the way. Is anybody here a doctor? If you are, I have something for you to check out later. So I'm in favor of doctors. I just think we forget with doctors that you're not perfect. That's why they call it a practice, right? You just hope that they're not practicing on you, you know? And I gotta be honest, I felt something weird was gonna happen when I went in there because I had that same feeling when I walked in that hospital. I had the same feeling that you have every time you fly Spirit Airlines. You know that feeling? You're just like, I may not make it. You know they call that airline Spirit because at any point you could become one. Hey, thank you guys so much. I'll be out there. Have a good night.
One more time for Chris Ryman, everybody. I, for one, am glad he's not still dead. All right, so we're all going to be hanging out there. You guys are welcome to come by and say hello to us. A couple of those guys have books they're selling. I do not. I don't believe in reading. So you can shake my hand and buy a sticker from me if you want. So that's it. That's the show, guys. Thanks for coming out. You don't have to go home, but you can.